now tuned in to DAR Sports Media, one of our last NFL shows because the season is coming down to the end. We had our conference championships this past weekend. Two very lively games. The final score didn't really reflect how lively the NFC championship was. And then, of course, another Chiefs-Bills classic that ended in the same way they all do. But we will do that. We'll talk a little Super Bowl look ahead. We'll probably reassess, see if anybody's changed their minds next week. After a week of thought. I don't think I will, but who knows? Of course, we'll start out. Me and my man Tay here. You know, his team went on this magical Cinderella run. We were all excited for him. A lot of us picked him last week. I know Tay's key words were that old 21 points shit ain't going to work. And the Eagles were listening to the pod. They took that to heart because they went out there and put up 55 on those boys. Still, though, and this will come more to be an issue when I talk about my Super Bowl prediction. Even with that, even with 3 turnovers, and ultimately that's that's the fucking truth of the matter is you can't turn the ball over like that this deep into the playoffs, in the playoffs at all, really, because there's a stat, this playoffs in particular, every team that has won the turnover battle 100% has won the game. So you cannot fucking go in there into another team's stadium in the NFC Championship game and turn the ball over 3 fucking times, man. Can't do it. But despite that, it was still a game late in the third. Admirable showing. I don't think the Commanders' stock and Jaden Daniels' stock has dropped at all. I think he put up an admirable effort. It damn sure wasn't him that made this fucking loss happen. Eagles, too much. Too many mistakes for the Commanders, and Eagles too much. Yeah. What do you think there, Tay? What were your thoughts during the game? What are your thoughts now, etc.?
I want to say this. I'm happy for the Commanders this season, regardless of the outcome. We weren't even supposed to be here in the first place. We were projected and slated 5 wins. So, I mean, they could have scored 85 points. I wouldn't care at all. But to talk about the game, yeah, the turnovers were just an issue. Like, every time we turned the ball over, I feel like it was on the closer side of the field. And, it basically already about to score a touchdown, like that pretty much killed us. Like, De'Ami Brown, he fumbled, had a great game last week. He fumbled this week. Austin Eckler, a vet. He's been great for us all year. He fumbled. Like, I don't know. You just can't win just doing stuff like that. Like, I don't know if it was nerves or maybe
Eckler's fumble was kind of the dagger too.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was
y'all. Y'all were fighting for your lives at that point, but it was still a game. Like, oh, this might happen, and nope. Yeah, once he fumbled, that was it.
You just can't do that. Like, we did that last time we played the Eagles. We lost the turnover battle, but won the game. But you can't do that. That doesn't work every game. Can't win every game like that, and that showed. I mean, I remember we were watching the game. It was 14-12. Commanders just scored. We made it kind of close again, and then we don't get the ball back until it's 27-12. Like, I mean, like, what do you do? Like, it's just turnovers. Like, that was right after the turnover on the kickoff return. And again, like, they're already in the red zone, so. I don't know, man. The Eagles are a good team, though. I'll give them that. They have a great run game. They just look different. With Saquon Barkley, that's going to go down as one of the best free agent signings in a while. Completely just made the team even better. I mean, the O-line, that O-line can block for anyone and make anyone like a 1,000-yard rusher. Yeah. But nah, this is different. Like, with the talent of Saquon and the great O-line, it's just like he's literally having the best running back season like ever. Like, he honestly, he set multiple quarters.
Yeah, he's gonna end up with damn near 2,800 yards and 28 touchdowns by the playoffs and season.
Yeah, he's literally having the best running back season ever right now. So, just adding that to the Eagles team that was already nice, like it's gonna be tough to beat them. So yeah, props to the Eagles, but Commanders had a great season.
I mean, last year it ain't too surprising because, like you said, they were already nice. Like last year, we were on here ranting and raving about how stacked this fucking Eagles roster was, and it's the same crew but with a bunch of like good additions. They added Cooper DeJean, they added Saquon Barkley. So it was the team we already said had the most talent in the NFC. And they added in a way, they added Nakobe Dean because Nakobe Dean wasn't doing shit for them before this year. And he emerged as this great linebacker. Of course, he gets hurt. Oren Burks has to come in. It's funny because, he's played really well, Oren Burks has, since he came in. But let me tell you a little something about the last time Oren Burks covered Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl. It went very, very, very fucking poorly, to the tune of about 12 catches and 145 yards. So I hope for the Eagles' sake he elevates his game in that way as well. But True, what did you think of the NFC Championship game?
Embarrassing result. I won't say embarrassing effort by the Commanders. I think we were talking about it, right? Talking about it on here. Like at some point, you eventually run into your wall, especially being a young team. Fresh, kind of really a fresh team. I mean, we haven't seen the Commanders in this sort of position in God knows when. So for them to be where they are, make it this far, Jaden Daniels, excellent season, excellent performance on the season, but just not enough. I thought maybe they had a chance to at least make it a game once. I think Jaden scored that touchdown and it was like 23 to 34 or something like that. I really thought, I was like, okay, maybe we get a game here, maybe we get something. But the Eagles, it pains me to say it, but they had such an excellent performance. I mean, you can't ask for a better performance from a team trying to get to the Super Bowl. You just can't ask for anything better than that. So, it's tough. It's tough because the Eagles. I know, Eric, you've mentioned this several times. About their egos and all the little things about that team, and you're kind of waiting for it to rear its ugly head. And so far, I mean, there's been some moments, but they managed to get it done, which is completely a shock for me because I didn't expect it to actually happen. But they managed to get it, done. Saquon Barkley obviously is the X factor for this team. AJ Brown finally woke up. Like it seems like he just finally woke up and finally had a good game. We'll see if that translates into the Super Bowl. Big. I guess a lot of credit has to go to Jalen Hurts for delivering a good performance. I mean, three touchdowns on the ground, the touch push, and all of that other bullshit. I mean, it is what it is. People have their feelings about it, but I really think this Eagles team looks different than the team from 2 years ago. A little bit, different.
I was just about to say that. No, not a little bit, a lot of it. AJ Brown, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Saquon Barkley.
There's
a lot of firepower added since the last one. Now, Jalen Hurts from that game is no longer here. That's like it's like a DLC. It's like a deal. 2023 Jalen Hurts, like on the WWE video games, and you unlock 2023 Undertaker. That's that Jalen Hurts from back then. This is a different guy who's out there now. But hey.
Yeah, I mean, my guy Shamar Moore shows up with the old, the old man, 90s living single guest star outfit, looking like Overton Wakefield Jones. And I have a lot of respect for Jalen Hurts in terms of what he can do and what he can make happen on the field, but I don't know for sure if we'll see how that
Don't know if it's
performance
going to be enough
goes
against
against.
Kermit.
Yeah, like we'll see how that performance is against the Chiefs when we get to that point. But to me, I really
Ooh.
think the performance that they put against the Commanders was absolutely insane. I will give a lot of credit. Like I said, Saquon has been the X factor, obviously, on offense for this team. On games where Jalen might not have it, Saquon have it. I mean, we saw what he did the other week against the Rams. He was just ridiculous against the Rams, and he was great. He was great here. It's just that he didn't get as much run, or wasn't a need for him to get as much run after that. After that big 60-yard run early on in the game, just kind of coast. He just kind of coasted, which is, I mean, in his case, nothing wrong with that. You just coasted because you can do that. You can do that. So, yeah, man,
It's tough deal, man, because the Commanders already struggled against the run, and then Deron Payne was out of the game. Tough stuff.
Yeah, it's tough break for the Commanders, but at the end of the day, you can take this, learn from it, and hopefully come back and be better from it. But I'll never say what a lot of people say. And Eric, we were just talking about this, I think, on Twitter or whatever, where people go, "Oh yeah, they'll be back for sure." If they're young, they got plenty of time. That's never a thing. I think the only time someone said it and it turned out to be extremely true is when Mahomes lost to Brady and like that conference championship, and people were like, "Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll be back," and the motherfuckers have been back a lot of times. But I just think the Commanders have pieces.
That's a whole interesting question. We'll probably do that post Super Bowl on that episode. It's an interesting conversation because both Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are both like 28.
Yep.
Oh, they'll be back. They got time. Honestly, like when you think of all the things that have to go right in a season, and like how many chances, like, all right, we have a chance at this. It's really only like 7 more. Yep. I mean, we're in an age where quarterbacks are often playing well past 35, but all those guys are also pocket passers. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it stands to reason that like Josh Allen's going to be a different player when the athleticism fades. Lamar Jackson's going to be a different player when the athleticism fades. A lot of these guys are, but specifically those two who people are like, oh, it's all right. They'll get over the Chiefs hump someday. Like, by the age of 35, I don't know what that's going to look like for both of those guys. Hopefully, I hope things transition and they become more and more seasoned passers and more experienced and more like they don't the athleticism phase. They can elevate their reading of defenses or whatever it is that they need to do to compensate and still be effective quarterbacks, like top 5 effective quarterbacks past the age of 35.
I'd like to see Lamar get one,
really
but also
7 more chances.
But also, once again, even that, like, that's on the surface, right? Like, that's on the surface. That's saying you got about 6 or 7 more chances, but injuries could happen. You never know.
Yeah, what if one of them gets hurt? Yeah, one of them blows their knee out. Yeah.
When you have the opportunity to try and win, you gotta go all in.
Do it.
There is no, and I think we'll discuss this, of course, in a broader conversation, but you have to go all in. I think the Ravens, for the most part, did attempt to go all in. I just think they just were just right there. I mean, they were right there. They're right there with a chance to, try to at least get a chance to go to the AFC Championship. But, Mark Andrews, had that drop and they missed out on that chance to at least fight for it in overtime. So, it is what it is. But, Josh Allen has a lot of talent. Lamar Jackson has a lot of talent. I've been on record several times. At this point, ad nauseum, I've talked about how John Harbaugh probably needs to go as the coach of the Ravens. They need to replace him as coach. I have not been a fan of his coaching for ages. But at the same time, Josh Allen, how can they get better? How can the Bills get better? They were really one possession away, honestly, one possession away from making the Super Bowl. So how do you get back to the conference championship? How do you improve, and what does his next season look like? I think I think it's pretty obvious he'll probably end up as the MVP this season. I guess I don't know what the deal is, but I haven't heard really anything in terms of what people voted or how things
Speaking
look.
of, that Bills Chiefs game, and Mark Andrews a little bit. People are fun. I didn't think that those people were like, oh, why isn't Dalton Kincaid getting smoked by fucking Mark Andrews? I didn't think those passes were fucking similar at all.
They were
okay,
not.
yeah, it got to his arms, but he had to run. He had to come way back. He was running back. The ball flew through the air about 50 fucking feet in the air, and he had to kind of dive for it and try to catch it. Like, it got there, but it was a very, very difficult catch. Under duress, under reacting in real time, and he just didn't get to it. He didn't make the spectacular play. Mark Andrews was wide fucking open from 8 feet away. What?
And bobbled the fucking ball like an idiot.
Ridiculous comparison.
But so let me just quickly,
and it hit him right in the fucking hands.
Yeah. Let me quickly just say this, though, because this has bothered me all season long. It's going to bother me every season this happens. And let me just say this. I have no problem with criticizing Lamar Jackson, talking about his shortcomings and his losses, because that's what happens for any quarterback, for any player. When you lose, you got to take what comes with losing. That's just a part of the game. But I just find it interesting that so many people were like, oh, man, I feel so bad for Josh Allen. Gosh, I'm so gutted for Josh Allen. And I'm using these terms in particular, gutted, because we don't necessarily use those terms. Certain types of people use them. Like, I'm so gutted. I'm so chartreused and whatever fucking word they can fucking use to say that. And I was like, hey, man, Josh Allen took a loss. Hey, man, he made it pretty far. Good season for the Bills. Successful season, they made it right there. They were right there with a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and that's kind of the end of it. The same way I think last season, Lamar and the Ravens were right there in the hunt, right there with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Nothing's different, but I think the same people gave Lamar a ton of flack last season. I mean, as he should have received for some of his bad decision making and bad plays. But I think. Why is there such a coddling effect for certain types of quarterbacks and certain types of players? At the end of the day, Josh Allen lost. Josh Allen was not good enough to win that game. The same way Lamar Jackson was not good enough to win that game against the Bills. But I saw a lot of people who didn't have, if they had themselves in their profile pictures on Twitter, they look very barstoolish a little bit. And I think this becomes a problem that we have with
when Lamar Jackson fails. When Lamar Jackson fails, it's Lamar Jackson can't get it done. When Josh Allen fails, it's sucks for Josh Allen. Can't believe this happened to him again.
Like, come on, man! Like, he keeps taking these losses. Bro. Gosh, man, you just hate it. You just hate.
To be fair, one guy has 2 MVPs and the other guy doesn't. One guy has 2 MVPs and the other guy doesn't. So there's also that.
I mean, well, that's the thing. Off of that logic, you're saying the expectations would be a little higher for Lamar Jackson than it would be for Josh Allen. If that is the case, then hey, I mean, Josh Allen made it to where
that's why he gets fucking cooked more.
Yeah, but I think once again, if you want to put Josh Allen in these conversations,
might change in a few weeks.
Yeah, like I said, you want to put Josh Allen in these conversations, like
then he should get the same way.
You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people ragging on Joe Burrow. Like, I'm in Cincinnati. I hear people in Cincinnati ragging on Joe Burrow. And I feel like, Joe Burrow had an MVP level season numbers wise. Obviously his team didn't get it done. But it's like the coddling of your particular players because you like them, or maybe they look like you. Like Lamar could look like 75% of this panel here. And at the same time, we're going to still criticize him if he don't do, he don't play up to par. Patrick Mahomes, if he has not been like super excellent like we've seen him in the past, like he's gonna get criticized. But it's hard to criticize somebody that keeps always fucking winning. That's the name of the game. You win, you can avoid criticism, and even then, they still find ways to shit on you, criticize you, and talk about you because that is sports. That is what they do. But we just need to stop this bullshit where Josh Allen losing. You got people on ESPN and people on Dalton Kincaid, man, you're blowing your quarterback's chance to win a Super Bowl. Like, no, he just wasn't good. Like, they've had ample chances to like really do things, and they came up short. That's what happens. I know that the referees have been a discussion for many people on the Chiefs, and trust me, I don't disagree with that because the Chiefs definitely have had their share of favorable calls. But at the end of the day, this is a dynasty we're witnessing, and mostly every dynasty does get a little bit of favoritism because they're the dynasty. They've built up that rapport. It's not necessarily right, but that's just sports. That's just how it goes. But with the Bills made a lot of key mistakes, especially early on, like that first drive, and then they came back to run off 10 straight without any 10 and early in the game, but it just was. There's so many chances they had to execute, and they didn't execute. And at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. Like, we can stop all this other extra shit. Like, oh man, Josh Allen just can't catch a break. Like, shut that pussy shit up. That's some pussy shit, dog. Like, it's sports. You lose, you lost. It's okay. You get your ass back up. You try again. That's it. That's the game. Like, stop fucking coddling straight up these white quarterbacks. Stop coddling these motherfuckers. Because guess what? Peyton Manning didn't need coddling. Tom Brady, although Tom Brady had plenty of referee help, as another thing I don't like people doing, or the Patriots dynasty was not this bad as the Chiefs. Shut the fuck up. Like, please. Like, stop. Like, stop revising history. Stop. Like, y'all had to be there to witness the shit that we were. Even talk about devil magic. I watched these niggas come back from 28-3 in the second half. I ain't never in the Super Bowl. That's you want to talk about the devil magic. That's the fucking devil magic. Like, motherfucker caught the ball. The ball was hit looked like it about to hit the ground. The motherfucker barely off the other nigga's foot. Like, we've seen this stuff before. We've seen quarterbacks who couldn't get it done before. Before Peyton Manning won his championships, Peyton Manning was considered a fucking loser in the postseason.
He was man. A lot of people. There is nobody who benefited from the glow of fucking nostalgia like Peyton fucking Manning. There are people who have the fucking nerve to call him the fucking greatest quarterback of all time. Like, motherfucker, like, we didn't watch him go out there and get his ass whooped over and over in the fucking playoffs. Like, we didn't watch him go out there and throw 4 interceptions in the fucking playoffs.
Why you bring up old shit? Why you bring up old shit?
He's still great. I'm not saying he's not, but goddamn.
Let my man.
Right. Hey, what you think, man? Chiefs Bills. Chiefs, yeah. I'll just let him get away with it. Chiefs Bills.
It was a good game. The Chiefs got some juice from the run game. It's a little bit more than normal. The run game hasn't been there pretty much all year, but it was just enough for them. Mahomes, he managed the game perfectly. The Bills, I would say the Bills played a good game too. Honestly, they didn't play bad. They just, didn't play perfect. You got to play 11 out of 10 against the Chiefs to beat them. You got to force turnovers. You got to catch them on their worst day. But it just,
We've been saying it on here. The Chiefs don't beat themselves, and you cannot fucking fuck up when you play the Chiefs. You have to play a perfect fucking game. And people say it's impossible, but guess what? The Chiefs play a perfect fucking game every fucking time. They're on a 17-game win streak in 1-score games.
Mm-hmm.
They are the greatest team of all time at execution of situational football. Period. And that's what it was. You got to play perfect. Lee Harvey, what'd you think, man?
I thought it was another classic between Mahomes and Allen.
Yep.
I I just think though the Chiefs' only real loss was against the Bills, and it was when Josh Allen had the ball late with the lead. That's what it's going to have to take to beat Kansas City. You have to have the ball with the lead
Yep.
to either run out the clock or get another score to add on to it. Because if he gets the ball back,
It's like tennis. It's like you cannot basically you cannot. It's like tennis. You cannot let the Chiefs hold serve.
no, no.
Yeah.
If he gets the ball back with if it's a tie game or they're trailing by one under 2 minutes, he's going to get it done.
Or if
Referring
they're
to Mahomes.
ahead by 2 or 3, that's like when they're most fucking deadly.
That too, where the
Yeah,
defense
we're
has
gonna
to
go
get
ahead
stopped.
and bury you under this dirt. What? Fuck no. Goodbye.
Like if that happens to the Eagles, we know what's going to happen. Yeah,
Well, I guess,
it was good.
yeah.
It was a good game. It was a great game all around. I still think that was the first down with Josh Allen on 4th and inches. I felt like he got enough to get that first down. And that play where Worthy caught it, but they stood with the call.
Yeah.
That don't look like no normal catch to me. I mean, that looked like that Fail Mary from several years ago,
Yeah.
and they ruled that a catch.
True made a good point though, man.
I don't know.
The Chiefs are kind of at the Jordan level now. Like if there's any doubt, the Chiefs are getting the call. It's where they're
That's
at now.
Go. That's dynasties, man. You gotta, I mean, look, we watched them football. We watched the Patriots. How many calls we seen? Hell, it was a fucking what game was it? Where it was like a meme where the ref went viral because of his face after making a call. I forgot what game that was. There was like a meme where the ref's face, he was talking to Tom Brady or some shit, and like he was talking to Tom Brady and it went viral because he were having he was laughing and jovial ass conversation with Tom Brady. And it's like, that's what happens. Greatness, you can get away with shit. And that extends to every sport, no matter what sport you're really in. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was Jordan, hell, you get favorable calls for a lot of legends. That's just the game. And I think that game, in terms of the first down, I don't know how I really feel about it. I watched that playback a couple times. I really can't call it. And I think in those situations, if I can't definitively say, yeah, that's a first down, then the referees probably aren't either. Granted, the referees is bullshit and they suck anyway. But but even watching back, I was like, it looked like kind of like a first down, but I'm like, I'm not 100% sure. And then you slow it down and you watch, it's like kinda, but you got to worry about where the ball is and where all stuff is. Like, so it was a hard call. The Worthy catch, it might not have been a catch, but I mean, at the end of the day, Bill still had chances outside of those.
They did.
You know what I'm saying? They had the ball, and I'm sorry, that whole Josh Allen when they put the camera on him, he was down 3, and it was like they try to recreate that Cam Newton shit. And when I saw it, I was laughing because I was in the I was watching the game in a public setting, and they showed that. And when they showed that, like people in the public setting where I was like, "Oh shit, Josh Allen about to do it. He about to do it." And I started laughing to myself because I was like, no, the fuck he not. No, the fuck he not. He ain't about to do it. Like, they're trying to force it. They're trying to, this is MVP moment. And it went exactly like I expected it to. And I'll say this for the Chiefs, their dynasty started with Kareem Hunt as their back. And it's looking like it's going to culminate in a potential three-peat with him get more carries in Pacheco, which is surprising. I mean, Pacheco, we all know Pacheco's a good running back, but he's been injured, been hurt, so nothing you can do about that lack of availability. But I think Kareem Hunt has come in. He doesn't necessarily look like he used to when he led the league in rushing. 7 years ago now? I want to say it is about 6-7 years. But he finished with like 700 yards on the year. 7 rushing touchdowns and. For somebody who joined in week 4, week 5, whatever, it's decent. and he was very solid against the Bills, and I think he could definitely have a good game against the Eagles. I am interested to see how, if the Eagles can blow them out, that'll to me signal the official end of the dynasty. But if the Chiefs somehow manage to win this game, three-peat, I wonder how next season looks. That's all I can say. Wonder how next season looks for both teams. Because if you don't get it done with this Eagles team, if you can't get it done, you can't win. I mean, what decisions are you making in the offseason? Are you looking to add? I mean, because they have a solid there.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Got to be a great roster.
They have everything. Yeah.
So you can't get it done.
There we go. Let's go, man. Who you picking? What do you think?
Come
on. You know who you're picking. Let's go.
If this was 1991 through 1998, somebody asked me, "Hey man, who you picking? The Bulls or the Lakers? Who you picking? The Bulls or the Blazers? Who you picking? The Bulls or the Suns? Who you picking? The Bulls or the Sonics? Who you picking? The Bulls or the Jazz?" I'm never gonna bet against you. Don't bet against the great. You don't bet against the greatest. But I will say, this is the most doubt I've had about them, because they did not look great this season. They were like the worst looking 15-2 team that I saw, and they didn't look dominant. But I think that's also our expectations as fans, right? Our expectation is this team was 15-2. They started the season 11, 12-0 or whatever it was, and they didn't look dominant, because we're so used to dominance being what a team that goes undefeated looks like. It's like you barely escape with a win 13, 14 times in a row. You just have to barely escape with a win for one more game. And nobody's escaped with a win better this season than the Chiefs. So I won't bet against them. But, I mean, the Eagles on paper should win this game. In my opinion, I think they should. But if the Chiefs defense can rattle Jalen Hurts and sort of slow Saquon Barkley down, I think they can do it. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs, but I'm not extremely confident in that pick.
Well, I am, and I'll tell you why. And you know, before people are like, "Oh, you're just hating on the Eagles," I picked the Chiefs against the 49ers last year. My fucking team, who I bleed, who I live, eat, and breathe. The Chiefs, or the Eagles, have been the beneficiaries of a lot of fuck ups from the teams they've been playing lately. They got multiple turnovers against the Rams. They got 3 turnovers against the Commanders. And not only did they get the 3 turnovers against the Commanders, but if you look at game script, if you look at game scenarios, the Commanders had this long fucking drive that they ended up settling for 3 points, did not cash in, and then turned right around and gave up a fucking 70-yard to the house touchdown. So it was like immediately canceled out off of, you know, a tackling optional fucking play, which was shit and handed to the Eagles. So, you know, if you look at the point differentials of what is being handed to the Eagles in all these games, you know what the Chiefs don't do? Hit like that. Fuck up. Turnovers. Not tackle. Not be in the right place. Chiefs don't do any of that. They're not going to give the Eagles any of that free shit. The Chiefs, again, we already covered, you know, best situational football team ever. Most likely probably going to be the best. So, and that's another thing, you know, you go down your checklist of like, what does it take if you think teams are close? Well, who has the coaching staff advantage? The Chiefs. Who has the quarterback advantage? The Chiefs. Who has the defense advantage? I think the Eagles, but only slightly, because a lot of people, they're no name because they're a small market and it's like not a lot of star players. But the Chiefs, while they may not have, they have like 2 A+ guys. They got McDuffie and they got Chris Jones, but they have almost all B's and B+ on the rest of that defense across the fucking board. They have so many unsung guys who would be stars on other teams. Nick Bolton, George Karlaftis, Number 98. His name's escaping me right now. Rookie they picked. Most of these guys are dudes they drafted too. Like the Chiefs just murder the fucking draft, and that's why I have such good front to back teams. Yeah, Deshaun Wharton, yes, crushing it, coming on late. The things that have helped the Eagles win these games are not going to be present in this game. Another thing is, we've seen it since last year, and certainly this year, that Jalen Hurts really struggles under pressure. Not under pressure like big games or whatever, but I'm talking about actual like pressure generated by the pass rush. Who's he going against in this game? The best DC ever at generating pressure. It's just a bad matchup. I'd love to see Saquon have a huge game and get a ring after this story, after what has happened. But I just don't think. I think Spagnuolo's gonna load up. He's gonna force Hurts to beat him, and I don't think it's gonna happen because they're not gonna get the extra chances because the Chiefs aren't gonna be fucking up and turning the ball over. So there we go. Chiefs win. Let's even go a score. Let's go 27-20. Tay, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the greatest quarterback ever. That's really all I need to see. Honestly, I don't care what the Eagles got. I don't care who's on the team. I don't care what running back they got, what receivers, who coaches them. I don't care who goes to the game. No, they're not going to beat Patrick Mahomes. It is what it is. That's how it goes. That's how it's been going. I don't remember the last Super Bowl the Chiefs didn't win. Like, do y'all remember? I literally
against the Bucks.
Like that, and he was playing in it. Like he's not even in the league anymore.
Guess the motherfucking goat.
Yep. Them players are retired. I'm not they've been running the NFL since COVID. I'm not taking nobody else. This is their NFL. The Chiefs are gonna win the Super Bowl again. That's just what it is.
You think that out of all the accomplishments, out of everything that Mahomes, all the praise, all of the fame, you think he thinks about Tom Brady?
Oh yeah,
Tom Brady
definitely.
Yes.
Tom Brady put him out of the AFC Championship his first year, and Tom Brady's the only person who beat him in the Super Bowl. That's two rings. That's 2 rings that Tom Brady took from him, most likely.
Yeah,
man, could have had 5.
Because I think the Chiefs were stronger. I believe that was wasn't that the year the Patriots beat the Rams in the Super Bowl? I believe
13-3.
I think the Chiefs would have beat the Rams. So
yep, terrible.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs would have beat the Rams. You think ain't no way, fucking that Patrick Mahomes led offense that year is losing to fucking Jared Goff. So yeah, so really, Brady took 2 rings away from him, and swung to. Think about the swing that brings, right? Because Brady has 7. Mahomes would be on his way to 6 right now if it wasn't for that. So if it isn't for those 2 games, Mahomes is on the way to fucking to beating him. Because if Brady has 2 less, then he has 5, and Mahomes would be on his way to 6. So Mahomes would be passing him right now, if not for the fact that Brady directly beat him twice. Fucking crazy.
Let's not forget that.
So do you I don't know.
Let's not forget also, I may think about Tom Brady, should also think about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow got took another chance off of him too.
Joe Burrow took one from him too. Yep.
That's how crazy that is. That for the last 7 years, this motherfucker was like 1 quarter away from like going on like 7 straight Super Bowls, like 7 straight Super Bowls, and then and on top of that, like the game against the Buccaneers, they weren't gonna win that shit because he was obviously banged up. He was hurt. He looked terrible out there. So that was kind of a given. But that one game, and that game is not without controversy. That conference championship, that very first, because they went to overtime, and it's a controversial game.
Yeah,
and we were complaining. People were complaining about the Patriots back then, and the way they're complaining about the Chiefs now. So it's funny how time is a circle.
That was the game. The game was over. The game is over. Tom Brady threw an interception, and the game was over. But fucking D Ford was lined up off sides, so it took the interceptions off the board. And then fucking Brady tied it, and then they went to overtime, and that was the game. Fuck
You
it,
want to
hey,
talk about
man.
some devil
Lee
magic?
Harvey, who do you got in this
Goddamn
game?
devil magic.
Yeah.
Devil magic for you.
Lee Harvey, who do you got, man? Chiefs, Eagles. Are we going to clean sweep here?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, can't do
might
it.
as well
Can't do
go.
it.
Might as well go with the Chiefs as well. Like, I don't know. Although Jalen Hurts hasn't turned the ball over this postseason, against the Chiefs, there will be certain days like against anybody else, they will play perfect football, don't turn it over, none of that. Just like what Philly did against Washington on Sunday. But against Kansas City, they might fumble, they might throw an interception when it's not needed. It is a lot of uncharacteristic things that other teams will do against Kansas City, and I feel like that they might happen because, like in the last Super Bowl, where Hurts fumbled and Nick Bolton ran it back,
Yep.
scooped and scored it.
Yep.
That turned out to be
They
one
were
of the
on their way to
differences.
putting that game away, too. They were ahead by 10 points.
Yeah.
And they were driving again. That game was going to be fucking over. And then Seumalo, the fucking guard, false started. Fuck that. They were on 3rd and short. They were about to make it. He false starts, knocks them backwards. Next play, Jalen Hurts is fucking fumbling. It's going back the other way. Goddamn. You should have known then.
Hey, and that one turnover can be the difference. And I feel like
so
Philly,
it's a clean sweep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's a clean sweep
Clean
over here on DAR. Check us out next week. We're going to do a special episode because it's the week off. We'll see if anybody's changed their minds. I don't know. I feel like everybody has pretty strong logic behind their thoughts, who they're picking for the Super Bowl. So, but we'll also do maybe a little segment on that. But the main thing that we're doing next week is actually going to tap into a little bit of what we just gave you a little taste of. We are going to be talking some nostalgia football next week during the week off. We are going to talk about greatest Super Bowls to never win, greatest teams to not win the Super Bowl in a single season. Greatest overall Super Bowl champions. You know, we've had our arguments on the NBA about what was the greatest NBA champion. We're going to do that about the NFL, the greatest single Super Bowl champion. I also want to ask you guys about the first Super Bowl you remember. What was the first one you watched and what your memories of it were and where were you at in your football fandom? All of that.
Call us old. They gonna call us old as shit.
Yeah. Mine'll be mine's interesting.
No, I was there for Bart Starr, man.
True, you were since we're close in age, I think you're gonna probably be able. I'll just say you're gonna enjoy the one that was my first Super Bowl, so you could probably guess what team it was and who won and about what year it might have been.
You better not say what I think.
So that'll be fun stuff.
You better not say what I think you're gonna say.
No,
we'll get to that next week.
It was no, not that one. It was good for your team. It was good for the team you like. It was good.
Oh, okay.
Helicopter Man. Yeah. So that's coming up on the football show next week. NBA Hoop Hour will also be back on this show. Me and True are going to have ourselves a good time on Sunday. It's not going to be as funny. Anybody who's listening to this with a big sneer on their face, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's probably not going to be as funny as it could be because we are grown-ups.
No, I'm fully taking the immature approach to this. Fuck that. I had to deal with some bullshit for the last year from a lot of people, and a lot of people were causing me dealing with a lot of bullshit. Right. So at the end of the day, y'all can suck my, kiss my ass for real. Fuck all y'all, on everything. That's on the set. I was very quiet and I was very calm about a lot of shit because I was more so worried about other things. Now that I'm in a place where I'm not worried day to day about dumb shit that's stressful, I'm not that worried about it anymore. I can talk my shit again, and I will absolutely use this time to talk a little shit, and also because the one thing I'm saying is no cap in our rap. We've never had a reason to be a bunch of fucking liars, or a bunch of fucking weirdos, because that's not what we're here for. We're not here to be having
Well,
these
and
weird
that's
parasocial relationships.
one thing we're going to discuss.
Yeah. So, we are out
It's going to
here.
be Vindication Sunday.
Yeah, we're out here making things happen. First of all, we're out here at these games. You can catch me the rest of this week. I'll be at Cincinnati Cyclones games. I'll actually be back at the Cincinnati Bearcats for one of their upcoming home games as well. A shout out to Apollo. He's at a game tonight. He's gonna be at a game tomorrow. You'll be at a game Friday. We're actually outside. We were the wrestling podcast that goes outside. We're outside. That's what we do. February 24th, you might see me in Heritage Bank Arena at WWE Raw. You might see me. We're doing media there too. So, like I said, that it's not just vindication. It's also, I don't even call it vindication because we knew what it was from the jump. And people were so late.
Yep.
I don't even feel good that people are that late to feel, to find out. It just makes me feel like, okay, like we knew, like y'all are idiots, but we knew. Like we knew, and that's cool. Yeah, it is what it is. I ain't got
we
no.
Knew, we
no
told
love.
you, and it was no surprise because when you move like that, eventually it's gonna happen, and that's literally what happened in that situation because these fellas just couldn't help themselves.
When you give lames, I'll say this briefly. I'll say this real brief. When you give lames and people who have never been in situations like prominent positions, you allow people's ego to overtake them. For everybody that's on this pod, for myself,
that's exactly what happened.
For Ted, for Apollo,
blinded by clout.
That's what it is. When you want that, as someone who actually had like a relationship with some of those people that are actually getting called out and people are shitting on them now. Like I knew these guys at one point and I stepped away from that situation because I even told them, I was like, y'all are bugging. That's not how we do things around here. I shouldn't do things like that. People didn't listen to me. I see things before they happen, try to give warnings, and then the shit happens and people be like, oh man, no, not now. Like I've been telling motherfuckers for years some change. Like this is what's going on over there. You should be mindful of that. And I have no issues in terms of like brands and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, individuals are individuals, and not everyone in a brand is all of my views don't reflect the views of everybody else on this podcast, and same goes for everybody else. So I think people need to also take that into consideration too. But at the end of the day, I can really give a fuck them. So that's how it is. Fuck them.
But at the same time, if anybody on this brand was we're already breaking into it. What's not going to happen on Sunday? If anybody on this brand was engaging in the fuckery, the fucking bullshit that people was engaging in on that brand, it would get fucking taken care of with the fucking quickness. That is fucking different.
Yeah, we don't move like that. We don't move like that. Like,
anyways,
grown men don't move like that.
Anyways,
we're not no chatty patties. We not no sassy lasses and all that bullshit. That's not how we move. Like y'all. Like grown men moving like that, and then lying about your ages to make ourselves seem younger. That's crazy. That's also crazy too. We ain't gonna talk about that. But
anyway, it'll be it'll be a good one Sunday, I guess. Looks like it. Along with the Royal Rumble review. Royal Rumble, there's a big, huge UFC card on during that day. Fucking nobody talk to me. Act like I don't exist on Saturday.
You can talk.
This is going to be good shit. This is going to be.
We can bring up. Might have somebody stop by for a show that could talk the UFC card too. Yeah. We'll see.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Hoop Hour back next week. Football nostalgia episode next week.
Hoop Hour's this week.
Good old fashioned fun. What's that?
Hoop Hour's supposed to be back this week.
Oh yeah. No, excuse me. My bad. So Thursday night, Friday during the day, Hoop Hour going down. I forgot about that.
Full
Hoop Hour will be back this week. So be on the lookout for it. Whole crew, whole panel. Like you going to the doctor. Full panel. And then a good old fashioned fun time on Sunday on the World of Wrestling. Man, oh man. Gonna be good.
Can't wait.
As you can hear, True is out. True is out. Crew's outside. We're all outside. We got the Medium site fucking cracking off. Tons of
Amazing.
reads, tons of downloads on articles. We're coming back to the United Football Media very soon for UFL coverage. Weekend wrestling, basketball. It's all happening here. And that is because the world of DAR never stops.